Hi, everyone, and welcome to Murder Friends, the podcast where three friends from three different countries talk about murder. My name's Alana, and I'm Canadian.
Hi, I'm Anna, and I'm American.
My name's Hannah, and I'm British.
So sit back and relax, you're among friends, and let's talk murder.
Happy New Year. It's 2020.
Yeah, the roaring 20s.
Yes.
Back at it again.
Obviously, we're all really jazzed about this whole new year.
Jazz. That was a great pun.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good. Did you all have a good New Year's Eve?
I'm sure I did. I'm sure it was great. It was
sure I did
wild.
as well.
Because I'm 36 and I'm wild New Year's Eve. No.
It's crazy.
I'm not.
New Year's Eve is kind of like the worst of all the holidays. If you can call it a holiday, I think it's the worst one.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of like fed up after Christmas, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
think
mean, how many New Year's Eve parties have you been to that have been all that great? Or maybe that's just my bad luck.
I think actually 0. I'm sure we've all got a great story for the best or worst thing that's happened to us on New Year's Eve.
I've had some good ones. I was fortunate. I was living in Miami in South Beach when I was younger. That was pretty cool. But after the age of I don't know, I quit going out after about 28. I was like, okay. you wait for, I swear you have to wait longer for a drink.
Oh, yeah.
It's just crowded. And it never, like you said, it never lives up to the anticipation of how great the night's going to be. It's just
Yeah, I think
night.
it's you want it to be everything to bring in the new year, and then you're just kind of you've got a horrible fucking club stamp on your hand or a wristband, and everything's kind of sticky. Yeah.
Exactly. But I really like the way that you celebrate your New Year's, Hannah.
Yeah, we go to a friend's house and we have food and we play board games, and then we do our Deadpool for the year, which is a list of people that we think are going to die. I know that sounds horrible. It is horrible. So yeah, no.
But you're not allowed to put the Queen on there, are you?
You're
or
not
David
allowed to put the
Attenborough?
Queen on there, and you're definitely not allowed to put David Attenborough on there.
No, they're protected.
Yeah, protected species. Anyone else is fair game though. Does anybody else have a New Year's Eve story?
Oh, Anna definitely has some. I mean, Miami, come on. You have the best stories.
Actually, one of the best though that I went to was actually in Chicago, and it was at a hotel, ballroom, ball gown, sort of that was really fun. And we were staying in the hotel, and I just remember that obviously Chicago is known as the Windy City. We were great, we're gonna, we were there for a while, we're gonna go somewhere else. But I just remember we walked out of the door and the wind was so strong that it just pushed you up the street. And we were like, you know what? We're fine. I think we're just gonna stay here. I just remember that, but that was a really fun one. That wasn't anything spectacular happened. But honestly, my number one New Year's story memory is when I was 21 and I went to Dublin. I was in Dublin for New Year's Eve. And okay, you're going to feel me here, Alana, because I don't think you have this in Canada, but we don't have squash. We don't have diluted, So in England, in Ireland, it's this really heavily concentrated drink, and then you put a little bit in your cup, and then you put water in it, and you dilute it, and it's really nice. It's great. I mean, it's just a good idea. But we don't have it. So I remember I'd only been in Dublin a few days, and we went out, obviously got pretty drunk. It was New Year's Eve, whatever. We stayed at a friend's house and woke up and nobody was up. And I was so thirsty. I was like, oh my God, need something to drink. And I'm just in the kitchen, bumbling around trying to find something to drink. So I come up to this bottle of squash and pour myself a massive glass of it.
Oh no.
But when you've got that terrible, you're so thirsty, your mouth is an actual desert. So I just guzzled the diluted or the non-diluted squash, the concentrate. And then I was like, ugh, what is it? What is this drink? It was only until, obviously that was horrible. They woke up and they're like, oh no, you don't drink it like that, you idiot. You put water in it, you drink a little bit. I was like, because it was this thick.
Syrupy.
Syrup.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
I can absolutely see that happening, though, because we don't have that in Canada either.
No.
The only thing I can think of that's somewhat similar is you can buy, frozen cans of juice concentrate that you,
yes.
dump. You dump it
Welch's.
in, and you put it in a jug and you put water in it. But obviously you can't accidentally drink a frozen can.
No.
But if you saw that just, in the fridge, it looks like juice. So just, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was I don't know, that is my number one New Year's memory. That was how horrific it was. It's it scarred me.
Have you drunk it since?
not concentrated. No, I've deleted it. I learned my lesson the hard way.
It again.
I honestly, when we were talking about doing a New Year's Eve sort of themed one, I can't tell you a single I don't even know where I spent the last handful of New Year's. I'm assuming that they were out someplace because the memory is now gone, but I can't think of anything other than just like kind of being disappointed most of the time and things being sticky and expensive. So those are my exciting New Year's stories.
I've got a really painful one if you want to hear it.
Yes.
You're like, hell yeah.
Yes.
I think it was 2006 or 2007, or like 2006 going into 2007. We went to a New Year's Eve party. I think it was at Brixton Academy or somewhere like that. And we went and we kind of like, we drank and we danced and like, I don't know if it's changed. I think it was at Brixton Academy. I don't know if it's changed, but the floor on the ground level where like you would like dance and everything is like ever so slightly slanted. So when you've got a lot of people standing, you're all kind of like standing on a small slope. And I don't know if it's changed now. But after like a few hours of people like spilling beer, that slope turned into a death slide.
Oh my God. I can already see.
It was fucking carnage. And I just remember like getting like falling over because I like high heels, a slippery floor. Like high heels and wet floor was already like a bad combo. And then adding in like an incline. It was the worst. And I think we all woke up the next morning and like our knees were all bruised and like our butts were bruised and like my wrist was blown up. And it was
my God.
It was fucking gross. It was disgusting. Good one though. But
Why is it is that so that they can see the stage? Is that's why it's sloped?
I don't know whether it was like
Seems idiotic.
a flat bit and then like a small slope and then like a flat bit and then a small slope, like an amphitheatre type thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it's still the same. I really can't remember whether it was Brixton Academy or not. It was somewhere like that though. Somewhere in London.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is that it's to help people see the stage, but I can only imagine actually dancing on that surface would be a goddamn nightmare.
It was so bad. Yeah, that was the most painful one I've ever had. That was years ago.
These days, though, I'm kind of the same. I just sort of just hang out with family and we like play games and cook. And my sister-in-law, who passed away the beginning of this year, it's always her favorite holiday. So she's the only person that just loves New Year's. So we a lot of times we would go to their house and like she likes to play pass the parcel. So she does it. She goes. I mean, she like collects stuff like all the wrapping paper at Christmas, and she makes this enormous thing. But what she does is she always had like a really funny like sense of humor, as in like she would obviously like my 84-year-old mother-in-law plays too, and she'd put stuff in there like bikinis, like gold bikinis, and like just like stuff. So then you'd have like it would stop on her, and she'd be having to put over her clothes, but like everyone just the most ridiculous outfits. Like she'd put in one of those like Borat swimsuits.
Okay.
So like the guy just like it was hilarious. So yeah, I think actually this year we're going to we're gonna do a pass the parcel and a memory of of Karen.
Cool.
So I think it'll be good. I think it's gonna be good. We're gonna probably have some Indian food and play games.
That sounds really sweet.
So are we making any resolutions this year?
I don't normally like formally make resolutions.
You don't write them out in your journal in flowery handwriting.
I do
Put little pictures around it. This year I hope to achieve.
I think the biggest thing for me, though, is because I do this Adventures in Naps stuff, like the YouTube and the Twitch and Patreon, I really want to focus on that a bit more. Kind of lately, I've just been creating whatever I want, and I just sort of throw it up there, and if people like it, that's cool, which is, like, kind of selfish, but also it's my own hobby, so I guess I'm allowed to.
It's working for you, though.
Yeah, I want to do, like, more. I want to do more. I guess I want to do more. I want to like research types of stuff that I could do, like actually put that sort of level of thought into things. So I think that's going to be like my 2020 focus.
That sounds good though.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sort of like, I don't really, do you have resolutions? I just sort of like, the last 2 years I've just had goals and I don't have a journal, but I had like this notebook thing and 2009, that was me, flowery writing. No. But I just wrote a couple goals I wanted to try to achieve for the year. And yeah, it was this year I think I succeeded or like really surpassed one of them, especially that I'd set for myself. And so that was good. But yeah, I don't know. I think it is like a good time to like reflect on things you might want to improve on or like you're saying. But I just think the whole New Year's resolution is a bit wank, isn't it?
I think they're a bit naff. I think a lot of people go for like really hard ones. Do you know, and they're like, oh, I want to lose like a shit ton of weight, or I want to do that, or I want to do this, and it's like they're not really achievable. And especially when you're doing that in January, where you don't want to go outside for a run, or like you know, it's dark outside. No one wants to go outside.
No.
So yeah.
Or you're setting these fabulous resolutions while you're, you know, drink in hand, dancing. You think this year's gonna be so great.
I'm gonna smash it. Everything's sticky.
Yeah.
I don't really have any for this year apart from doing some of the Macmillan Cancer Mighty Hikes, and Anna's doing one with me as well.
Yeah, I'm doing one with you, which I'm looking forward to. But I've already started like gearing my training towards it in the gym, so I think that's gonna be really good.
They're 26 and a bit mile hikes, and I'm doing one Brighton to Eastbourne, and then another one I'm doing with Anna in the Lake District.
Yeah,
which you informed me only a couple of weeks ago after we'd booked it that that's the hardest one out of the series.
Yeah, of course. I'm an idiot. I'm not going to tell you that until I get you.
Thanks, mate. So yeah, no, I think I want to start just like training for that properly, and yeah.
Yeah, I remember you guys asking, do you want to do the cancer hike? And I said, no, thank you.
Like they're very jealous. You were just like, no.
No. Like the walk, it wasn't even like a, yeah, right, mate. Nope.
No, thanks.
Big old no. But you're coming along, so we are gonna, because the Lake District is amazing, and if you live in England and you haven't been, you should go. It's great. It's great if you're into like outdoorsy sort of stuff and good pubs. It's so great up there. So we're like making a long weekend of it, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I've never been, which is ridiculous.
Neither
so this
have
will
I.
be my first Lake District trip.
It'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. And we're bringing the partners. The partners, what do you call them? They're not wags. They're
Abs.
Abs. Doesn't really have the same ring to it, but okay.
Parasites. Adjust. I'm gonna tell a really gruesome murder now, and I'm really sorry.
It's fine. Anything that's maybe not a child death that I did last week. So.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas with a child death, and now gruesome murder for Happy New Year.
Yeah.
So as this is our New Year's Day episode, I imagine a lot of people are thinking, New Year, new me, time to get fit and healthy. Some people who embody those principles often work in sportswear stores, like Lululemon.
Oh, I know that. Yes.
No.
This is so
I'm going to
good.
tell you about the murder of Jana Murray, or what is commonly known as the yoga shop murder or the Lululemon murder. I got fucking shit tons of notes.
Good choice.
What a great segue, by the way.
Yeah.
I was trying my best. I've been thinking about it all day. Sorry. Maybe that should be my resolution for the new year. Just be better at
segues.
So before we start, the usual disclaimer, this is quite a brutal crime, so if you don't want to listen to it, then do skip ahead, because we've got a really great weird crime time at the end for you. My sources for this one came from Wikipedia, Murderpedia, Patch.com, and there's a YouTube video called The Yoga Store Murders by the user Yoga Store Murders.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
So Lululemon is a higher end brand of sportswear. So we're talking like cashmere sportswear and expensive yoga pants. I'm sure that like a lot of other brands charge more, but it's better than like a 20 quid pair of caramel leggings you buy in Sports Direct. It was founded in Vancouver in 1998 and headed by Chip Wilson. There have been a number of like controversies surrounding the brand and its founder, such as false advertising. People have questioned the quality of the products. There's been some like legal disputes involving design patents and intellectual property, and some comments made by Chip Wilson himself. So he said things like, some women's bodies are unsuitable for the brand, basically fat shaming.
Yikes.
He refused to make plus size items, saying that they cost too much, and he mocked a lot of people for their accents. There's also been reports of like cult-like attitudes within the store, where like everyone's expected to live and breathe the store values. And I'm sure that isn't the case everywhere, so I'm not like shit-mouthing anyone. But yeah, it's a strange place for some people to work. So if we go back to the 11th of March 2011, colleagues Jana Murray and Brittany Norwood close up the Lululemon store in Bethesda, Maryland, which is a fairly affluent area with a lot of like high-end shops in it. The next morning, when a staff member enters the store to open it up, she finds everything in disarray and strange noises coming from the back. She exits and then asks someone else to enter as she's scared. That person finds the brutalised body of 30-year-old Jana Murray. He then finds Brittany Norwood bloodied and beaten and tied up in a bathroom and unresponsive. So police find blood everywhere. There are pictures on Murderpedia, and I would really recommend that you don't look at them. Like, they are fucking horrific. They
bad.
are so bad. And I only, like, do you know when you accidentally kind of, like, scroll through something? And I did that, and I was like, oh my god, no. So please don't look. They find blood on, like, a Buddha statue near Jana's body. There are bloody footprints everywhere. Some were from a men's size 14 pair of shoes. And the police start a manhunt. Brittany is able to give an account of the attack. After closing, she arranged with Jana to meet with her back at the store as she'd left her wallet inside or a personal belonging. As they re-entered, they were attacked, sexually assaulted by two masked men who then tied Brittany up and left and beat Jana to death. Police start this manhunt for the assailants and commence all their investigations. So during the investigation, a report came from the Apple store next door that staff overheard two women arguing, then screaming, and then one of them was pleading. Apparently, one of the people in the Apple store said, "Oh, I heard a woman shout, 'Oh, please God, no.'" And they didn't call the police.
Oh my god. How often do you hear that, really? You think that, oh shit, like something's going down.
Yeah. It's not just something you just casually say.
No, it's not like a regular
Even when you're
argument.
joking, even if you're joking around, you just don't, that is like quite a, heavy.
Yeah, it's a heavy thing to shout.
Yeah.
I think it's like the bystander effect, which is, I think, it's quite common in crimes where there are a lot of other people around, as those people expect other people to phone the police.
Right.
And
right.
in such like an area that they're within, it's kind of like affluent and bad things don't happen. So people just think it's, people having a disagreement, so they just leave it. Which is like, I understand that, I really do. But
I think you don't want to get involved, because then if it's nothing, you look stupid, I guess. But then it's better safe than sorry.
Definitely. So this kind of ignites kind of suspicions, and Brittany's story of that night slowly becomes unravelled. Evidence starts pointing towards her rather than the two men she described. Brittany had alleged that both of the women had been sexually assaulted, although no evidence of this was found after physical examinations. Brittany's DNA is found in Jana's car, but Brittany claims she'd never been in her car, although she did later change her story. It was argued that Brittany's injuries were self-inflicted, as they were on the opposite side of her dominant side. Also that they were relatively superficial compared to Jana's, and that there were far less of them. Further, they kind of concluded that she could have tied herself up into the position they found her in.
God, that's so grim.
I know, this is... The bloody men's size 14 footprint I mentioned earlier, faked by Brittany. So she grabbed a shoe from the shelf, put it on her foot, and walked around the store in the blood.
Ugh.
But only one shoe. So she grabbed a display shoe.
What, did she just hop?
No, she had her other shoe on the other foot.
Oh my
What
god.
a moron.
I know.
I know. These people are like the police are professionals. They'll be able to figure you out. So 6 days later, after Jana's murder, they hold a memorial service, and that same day Brittany is charged with first-degree murder. So the severity of the attack, Jana received 331 injuries, and the possibility that numerous weapons were used to inflict them led Brittany to land herself with a life sentence with no possibility of parole 7 months later. She tried to appeal this, but it was all unsuccessful. And you think, oh, well, what was the motive for this? They were supposed to be friends, they were supposed to be colleagues. Police say that Jana had discovered that Brittany had been stealing items and then confronted her. Brittany then lured her back to the store, attacked her, staged a crime scene, self-inflicted wounds on herself, and tied herself up, and then waited for someone to find them. And they think it was 10 hours from start to when they found her.
Oh my god. That takes a certain type of person.
Yeah, is it really worth it?
Well, you think if she stole, a couple items, some money, whatever, of course, obviously that's a crime. But bludgeoning someone to death, faking a crime scene, then hurting yourself, tying yourself up for 10 hours, like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, like she's never going to see the light of day, you know, whatever. She's never coming out, getting out. And
I don't think those Lulus were worth it.
exactly. So I mean, I'm like, okay, so if you had gotten in trouble for stealing, you maybe would have got community service.
Yeah, or like lost your job and maybe that would be at the end of it.
Yeah.
But instead she decided to take this really like foul kind of route.
It's really
And
sick.
it's really, I find that really mind-blowing. Like that's the thing that really, really caught me about that story.
But it wasn't even like a, you know, an impulsive, oh, she just had a gun and she's trying to threaten her and then she shot her. It was like a real calculated, long, she suffered, you know, she really suffered and it was like really calculated. Like, I don't know, that's just a whole nother level of like, you know, sinister.
Yeah. I think that story is also interesting in that we don't often hear a lot of women on women crime. That sounds kind of weird, but do you know what I mean? Like the really gruesome stuff is not often a young woman attacking another woman.
Yeah, I mean, they were like
sense.
roughly the same age and roughly the same build.
And it wasn't
seems-
over
yeah.
like, you know, it wasn't like a crime of passion, like, you know, they were being cheated on by the other one, or, you know, like so many of those like husband and wife type situations where
Yeah.
one snaps and goes for the other one. It's like you were literally co-workers. That relationship really throws me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, talking about killer colleagues, there's a show on Sky Crime. Sky have just launched their new like crime channel.
Yeah.
I say their new crime channel. It's been out for months, and they have a program on there called Killer Colleagues.
Oh shit.
And
Oh, there's an
it
actual
is-
like program about it.
Oh, it is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Like James was even like recording it for me, and he was like, "I found this brilliant thing on Sky Crime," and I'm like, "What are you doing on Sky Crime? Like, this is not your audience. How dare you get?" It's so funny, and it was just it literally tells that story of like people at work who kill their colleagues or like attempt to kill their colleagues, and a lot of it is to do with like love triangles and all sorts. But it's so cheesy. It's so cheesy. It's great. I would really recommend it.
In a totally unrelated note, I saw on I think they were we have like the Amazon Fire TV thingy,
Oh yeah.
and they were advertising that you could pay for a subscription to this particular app / channel, whatever, and it's like TV Player Now or some combination of usual words, and I saw that they have the rights to TLC. So if you buy the subscription, you can watch TLC on your TV here in England. I'm so excited. I think I'm going to do it because I haven't watched all those like dumb, like Say Yes to the Dress and My Strange Addiction. You know,
yeah.
like
Strange
women
Addiction.
who
Oh.
like eat their husband's ashes, like all sorts
I
of
know,
stuff.
yeah.
It was that woman
Like
who was like
hoarders and,
eating. It was the woman who was eating her sofa. That was my favorite one.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So all
Yeah.
English viewers or listeners, whatever, if you want to get TLC, apparently there's some sort of TV app thing you can buy a subscription for. I mean, I guess you could just like download shows, but I just want to binge watch TLC.
Yeah, you just want to look at your TV and then let it play itself like over and over.
Yes.
Did you ever watch that interior design show, Is it Trading Spaces? The best.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Sorry, we're going
and my
way off
mom-
the rails here, but I know, yeah.
Me and my mom used to watch that all the time. And then she emailed me, because I think I was living here. They tried to revive the show
Yeah.
with some of the same people. And she's like, oh, it's not the same. I was like, yeah, I kind of figured that. But
So
What was
for
the
people
what was
who
the
don't-
premise? Yeah, I was gonna say, what was the premise of that?
So they were interior designers, and there's about 5 or 6 of them, different ones, weren't there?
yeah, and so there was like there was two couples, like two different families that would switch houses, and they'd each have their own interior decorator. And they would pick a room in the house to redo, like, for their friends. But some of the designers, like, some of them were really nice, and they do, like, I mean, it was, like, early 2000s, so it's quite dated anyway. But I remember there was, like, one designer that always tried to do something weird, and they redid the family's living room, and they turned it into a barn. So they put glued straw on the walls and
no.
stuff,
Yeah.
and they had, like,
So
hay
weird.
bales. And so, of course, the poor couple comes back and sees their, decorated thing, and it looks like a fucking barn in their living room.
It's like, it was so good. It was like, I used to watch it real time because I'm old, and I used to watch it in the early 2000s when it was actually on. It was so good. But yeah, some of them, it would just go so wrong. And then people would be like horrified, on there, and it was amazing.
I think we had one really similar in the UK. It was called like Changing Rooms or something.
Yeah,
and it had Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen in it, who was this really like flamboyant interior designer. He's on an advert now in the UK, and it freaked me out the other day. I was like, ugh. And everything he did was like purple velvet curtains to the floor. And there's one where it was, I don't think it was him, but in one of the rooms, they made like a stand or like a coffee table out of like cinder blocks and then like sheets of like wood or like planking or something. And it just looks so unbelievably awful.
Oh my God.
And it was just the people's faces coming back into it. I think that's the reason why everyone watched it.
Yeah, because it was like, well, there's always a budget, and the budget was like really always small, and they, and so they would like cut corners, and you're like, ugh.
Oh no. And they only had like a weekend to do it or like a day to do it.
It was basically the same thing. Yeah, it was great.
Weird crime time.
All right, guys. So for today's weird crime time, we are going over to Alabama, Birmingham. Birmingham is what we would say there. And I'm just gonna read you the title. Naked peeping Tom wearing Ronald Reagan mask caught on camera in Vestavia Hills.
Oh my God.
Bet you didn't know where that was going.
Anything more scary.
Yeah. Naked man in a mask.
In a Ronald Reagan mask.
How random is that?
Why?
Jesus. No, but it gets worse. Wait, okay. Actually, it doesn't get worse. That's just pretty much what it is. A Vestavia Hills couple got quite the surprise on New Year's Eve when a nude man wearing a presidential mask creeped into their breezeway. The man, who was naked except for what appeared to be a Ronald Reagan rubber mask covering his head and a sock covering his private parts.
It'd be fun if it was the other way around.
Ran off when Jersey Belle's Danielle Yancey and her husband spotted him. The ordeal, however, was caught on their home security video and later posted to Facebook as a warning to neighbors and others. Oh, and by the way, this is from AL.com, so if you want to check out that story. And actually, there's a picture, guys.
Oh, no.
There is a picture.
Yeah, there is a picture. And it's really, really creepy. I know a lot of people are laughing about it, and honestly, I got a chuckle from it later, but at the same time, it's very concerning, Danielle Yancey said. I don't know what he was planning on doing. Yancey's husband, Bart, had just taken out the trash and returned inside when he caught a glimpse of a shadow in the breezeway. The trespasser had already opened the gate and entered when Bart, sorry. He then followed him briefly while he called 911 from his phone. And basically, the police responded to the scene, but they weren't able to find him. So there's that mysterious...
that's even worse.
He's on the prowl. But there's a quote here that said, he could have been messed up on drugs or alcohol, and in that mindset, you don't know what they would have done. But then they said, I don't think he had a gun on him, but he could have potentially hurt us. Oh, what could hurt him? But then I'm thinking, well, he was naked, so I guess you couldn't...
Where would he hold a gun?
Where was his gun going to go? I don't know. Anyway.
Oh my God.
I know. It is but it's did he just look around and was like, right, tonight's the night. I'm going to go out. I got my sock.
Got my mask.
I need a mask. I don't have a baklava. What is it called? I want to say baklava, like the stuff like...
A balaclava?
Balaclava, yeah, not the stuff that you eat in Greece. Anyway, yeah, and he's like, well, I've got this old Ronald Reagan mask lying around from, that'll do.
I just couldn't figure out what he was trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Was he if you were trying to break in, wouldn't you wear all black and be carrying something to break into a house? But that's just...
No, I think that's just, weird. I want to be watched. I want to be caught kind of thing.
I want to be weird.
I mean, if you were in the moment, how terrifying, because you have no idea what this... if this man is willing to run around with his junk in a sock and a Ronald Reagan mask on, what else is he willing to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, the picture is really actually quite terrifying because he's kind of crouched over.
Ew.
Yeah, he's creepy.
It's really, really odd.
It kind of reminds me of, I think it was one of our episodes near the beginning where we talked about that guy in the GIMP outfit that was running around the village in England.
Scaring people.
Yeah, and just running around, no obvious motive other than just to freak people out.
Also, you think, well, when you hear about stories of serial killers or serial rapists and stuff, and they started somewhere, didn't they? Doing stuff like weird stuff like that. I'm not saying he is, but you know when you hear like stories about they used to run around their neighborhood and like look in the windows at first, and then it progressed, and you're like, oh god.
Definitely. I also think that is probably one of the main reasons why you would ever get a home security system.
Definitely.
Just on the off chance that you will catch something absolutely bananas.
And the fact that they post it to Facebook is 100% hilarious.
Yeah.
Can you imagine getting tagged in that one? Saying,
They'd be like, oh, Steve, is that you?
Yeah. Hopefully it was just like a prank, and it was like a teenager, and he was or a college student, and he was dared to do something like that. Fingers crossed.
I hope it was nothing malicious, but it was
nothing malicious,
creepy. It was creepy.
It's Ronald Reagan. I just can't. I mean,
you use what you got on hand, really.
Yeah.
True.
Why would you?
Do you think he had a selection of every single president?
I know.
And he was like, tonight I will be Reagan.
Yeah.
But that was the one that you could Amazon Prime the fastest.
Yeah. There you go.
Definitely.
That was next day delivery, so it's like, all right, Reagan.
Same day.
Reagan it is.
Same day.
Well, I think that's all we have for today. Check us out. If you want to check out our website, murderfriends.com, we always post blog and photos and our sources after each episode. Follow us on Instagram, MurderFriendsPod, Twitter, MurderFriendsPD, and our email address is murderfriendspod@gmail.com. Now, can you guys please send us your New Year's resolution? We need a funny New Year's story. What presidential mask would you choose? I don't know.
Bill Clinton
Anything.
for real.
Also, we're always looking for weird crime. So if you ever come across a good story, send it our way.
Or even if you've been the victim of a weird crime, we want to hear about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let us know. Hope you've all had a really good New Year, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.